Hello and welcome students. In today's lecture, I am going to discuss about multiple dosage regimens. In previous lecture, there was a discussion about what do you mean by dosage regimen and therapeutic drug monitoring. So the dosage regimen is the manner in which the drug has been administered or a drug has been taken. Now starting with the introduction part. So it says that after single dose administration, the plasma drug level rises above and then falls below the minimum effective concentration, that is MEC, resulting in a decline in therapeutic effect. So you must be remember that in previous lecture I had shown you a graphic which says what is minimum effective concentration, then what is minimum toxic concentration, and the area between this minimum toxic concentration and minimum effective concentration is called a therapeutic window, and the graph which we can use for knowing all these parameters is the plasma concentration of drug versus time. To treat chronic disease, multiple dose or intravenous infusion regimens are used to maintain the plasma drug level within the narrow limits of therapeutic window. For example, plasma drug concentrations above the minimum effective concentration but below the minimum toxic concentration or MTC to achieve optimal clinical effectiveness. Further, it says that these drugs may include antibacterials, cardiotonics, anticonvulsants, hypoglycemics, antihypertensive hormones, and several other drugs. So it is very important to maintain a proper concentration in blood circulation to achieve therapeutic objectives. Further, it says that ideally a dosage regimen is established for each drug to provide the correct plasma level without excessive fluctuation and drug accumulation outside the therapeutic window. Now please remember that excessive drug accumulation is not desirable because it will lead to toxicity and side effects. At the same time, accumulation of drug outside therapeutic window, that is below minimum effective concentration, would not result in any kind of therapeutic outcome. For certain drugs such as antibiotics, a desirable minimum effective concentration can be determined because the use of antibiotic is very crucial, because suppose we are not using proper concentration of antibiotics, then it will not produce any therapeutic effect, and if we use excessive quantity of antibiotics, at one point the body will become resistant to that particular antibiotic. So it is very important to use proper concentration of antibiotics. For drugs that have narrow therapeutic range, for example digoxin and phenytoin, there is a need to define the therapeutic minimum and maximum non-toxic plasma concentration, that is MEC and MTC. In calculating a multiple dose regimen, the desired or target plasma drug concentration must be related to a therapeutic response, and the multiple dose regimen must be designed to produce plasma concentrations within the therapeutic window. So we have to design therapeutic regimen in a such a way that it should produce desired therapeutic effect, but at the same time it should not produce any toxic effects. There are two main parameters that can be adjusted in developing a dosage regimen. Number one is the size of drug dose, and number two is the frequency of drug administration, which is the time interval between doses. So these two factors we have to consider while designing dosage regimen. Now it is very important to know about drug accumulation. So the drug accumulation can be calculated for multiple dosage regimen. It is necessary to decide whether successive doses of drug will have any effect on the previous dose. Further, it says that the principle of superposition assumes that early dose of drug do not affect the pharmacokinetic of subsequent dose. See, when we are delivering or when we are administering the second dose, there is every possibility that the fraction of drug from the previous dose or from the very first dose may present in the body, and that would create some kind of disturbance in the pharmacokinetic parameters of the second dose. Therefore, the blood levels after the second, third or fourth dose will overlay or superimpose the blood level attained after n-1 dose. So, whenever we are going for subsequent dosing, always there is a possibility that the accumulation of drug can take place. The principle of superposition allows the pharmacokinetics to project the plasma drug concentration time curve of a drug after multiple consecutive doses based on plasma drug concentration time curve obtained after single dose. So, being a clinical pharmacist, we have to calculate the effect of drug accumulation by using blood plasma concentration of drug versus time curve. The basic assumption are: number one, that the drug is eliminated by first order kinetics, and number two is that the pharmacokinetics of the drug after a single dose are not altered after taking multiple doses. So, throughout a constant dose has been maintained. The plasma drug concentrations after multiple doses may be predicted for the plasma drug concentrations obtained after a single dose. So, this is a procedure to know the effect of drug accumulation. Now, this particular graphic would tell you that how the drug accumulation takes place. So, what you are seeing here is the administration of subsequent doses, and because of that, even though we are not increasing the dose of drug, ultimately the plasma concentration of drug increases because of drug accumulation from the previous dose. There are situations, however, in which the superposition principle does not apply. In these cases, the pharmacokinetics of the drug change after multiple dosing due to various factors, including changing pathophysiology in the patient, saturation of a drug carrier system, enzyme induction, and enzyme inhibition. Further, it says that drug that follows non-linear pharmacokinetics generally do not have predictable plasma drug concentration after multiple doses using the superposition principle. So, these things we have to consider, that there are some instances where the principle of superimposition or superposition does not work. Further, it says that if the drug is administered at a fixed dose and a fixed dose interval, as is the case with many multiple dose regimens, the amount of drug in the body will increase and then plateau at a mean plasma level higher than the peak, that is CP, obtained from the initial dose. When the second dose is given after a time interval shorter than the time required to completely eliminate the previous dose, drug accumulation will occur in the body. In a nutshell, the time limit between two subsequent doses is short, then there is a possibility of drug accumulation. So we can avoid drug accumulation by increasing the time duration between the two subsequent doses. However, if the second dose is given after a time interval longer than the time required to eliminate the previous dose, there will not be drug accumulation. So as I said, that we have to keep a sufficient long time interval between two subsequent doses. Now here you can see a particular equation. So this equation shows that drug accumulation measured with the R index depends on the elimination constant and the dosing interval and is independent of the dose. So one thing you have to remember here, that the drug accumulation index is completely independent of dose, but it depends on the dosing interval as well as the elimination constant of that particular drug. So this particular graphic would help you to understand that how a multiple dosage regimen works or looks like when we are trying to put them in a graphical form. So here you can see multiple drugs administered together and a plasma concentration has been measured against the time. So in some cases you can see that the plasma concentration of drug goes very high. In some cases the plasma concentration of drug is very low, but drug may remain in blood circulation for the longer duration of time. And if we administer drug before the previous dose is not cleared from the body, there is a possibility of drug accumulation. So here one example has been given, that simulated plasma drug concentration time curve after intravenous infusion and oral multiple dose for a drug with an elimination half-life of 4 hours and apparent volume of distribution of 10 liters. Intravenous infusion given at a rate of 25 mg per hour. Oral multiple dose are 200 mg every 8 hours, 300 mg every 12 hours and 600 mg every 24 hours. So there are 4 dosage forms have been used to plot a graph of plasma level versus time in this particular instance. 3 belongs to the oral drug delivery system and 1 is intravenous infusion. So dear students, that was all about multiple dosage regimen. Now what you have to remember in this particular lecture is that there are some situations in which we have to administer multiple drugs at a time, and there is a possibility that this drug may interact with each other. Now whether it is the single drug or multiple drug, always we have to maintain a plasma concentration of drug within therapeutic window, because if we administered more amount of drug, it will trigger toxic effect, and a less amount of drug will not produce any therapeutic effect. So being a clinical pharmacist, always we have to take care that an appropriate amount of drug must go into body and thus in the blood circulation, so that the drug concentration is well within the therapeutic range, which can produce intended therapeutic effect. But when we are going for multiple dosing, there is a possibility of drug accumulation. Now what is drug accumulation? So it is the dumping of excessive amount of drug into blood concentration and in various compartments of body. So what is the reason for drug accumulation? So if we are giving drugs at shorter interval before the previous drug, which may cleared by various organs like kidney, then there is a possibility of drug accumulation. For example, if 80% of drug has been cleared and still a 20% of drug is there in the body, and if a patient has been given a new dosage form, then the total amount of drug would be 120%. Similarly, the third dose, fourth dose, fifth dose will add more and more amount of drug in the body because the administration interval is fairly small, and this would lead to the toxic effect. How can we avoid drug accumulation? So we have to keep a sufficient longer duration of time between two subsequent doses so that we can give ample amount of time, sufficient amount of time to a drug to be cleared completely from the body. If you see the drug accumulation index, that is capital R, is not depending on the dose of the drug, but it depends on the elimination constant and the drug dosage interval. So students, please go through this video. If you have any query or question, please let me know, and I would be happy to solve your query. Thank you very much. Have a good day.